Reality hit hard on the set of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and it wasn't from drama made for TV. It came from Kimmy Scott's open hand slapping Maurice across the face. No warning, no long build-up, just a moment filled with years of emotion, silence, and pressure boiling over. Everyone froze. Nobody said a word. Maurice stood there stunned, blinking like he couldn't believe it happened. But it did. And that one moment said more than a whole season of episodes. To understand why Kimmy did what she did, you have to go back. This slap wasn't about a single conversation or disagreement. It was about everything Kimmy has been holding in for years. From the outside, she seemed like the peacemaker. The calm one. The woman who always tried to be the voice of reason when others were being messy. But inside, something was breaking. That breaking point came when Maurice tried to paint her as dramatic, all while hiding things from her, and the world. Kimmy has always been strong. She fought cancer in front of millions. She stood by Maurice through hard times. She raised her family and still made time to keep her life together. But that strength came at a cost. It was draining. Behind the smiles and soft tone was a woman exhausted from pretending everything was okay. Fans had started to notice. Her smile didn't feel the same. Her energy was quieter. Her voice sounded like it was carrying too much. And then the truth started to come out. Maurice had been emotionally reconnecting with a woman from his past. The texts weren't X-rated. But they were personal, too personal. Messages like "you always knew how to calm me down," or "I still think about what we had." While Kimmy was in recovery, going through chemo, and losing her hair, Maurice was messaging another woman talking about how she gave him peace. Peace? Kimmy was literally fighting for her life, and he was looking for peace elsewhere. Kimmy didn't explode at first. She handled it with grace. She confronted him off camera. She wanted honesty. But Maurice downplayed everything. He called the messages harmless. Said it was just support. Nothing serious. That response, that was the breaking point. Then came the scene the crew had set up for what was supposed to be a heartfelt moment. Something soft. Vulnerable. A real talk between husband and wife. But when Maurice started speaking like everything was under control, like Kimmy was just being emotional, she snapped. It was fast. It was raw. And it was real. That slap was not for the camera. It was years of being ignored, misunderstood, and disrespected. Kimmy had finally reached her limit. Maurice stood there, completely shocked. He didn't yell. He didn't even react much. Because deep down, maybe he knew he had pushed her too far. The silence after that slap said everything. And then, all hell broke loose. Letitia was the first one to storm in. Loud, defensive, and full of energy, not for Kimmy, but for Maurice. She rushed to his side, yelling about family, boundaries, and saying Kimmy went too far. She demanded the cameras be turned off. Not once did she ask Kimmy if she was okay. Not once did she try to understand what pushed her to that point, and that's what hit people differently. Letitia had barely shown up when Kimmy was sick. But now, with Maurice's image on the line, she was suddenly ready to fight? People on set were side-eyeing her. Because it wasn't about right or wrong anymore, it was about protecting the Scott family brand. Kimmy's pain? That was just an inconvenience to them. Marcel, on the other hand, played it cool. Too cool. He pulled Maurice aside like a PR manager handling a celebrity scandal. Whispering things like "stay calm," and "let it blow over." Not "are you okay," or "what did you do?" Just strategy. Just spin. But while the Scotts scrambled to protect their image, Melody was the only one who moved with real heart. She didn't say much. She didn't make it about her. She just walked over to Kimmy, sat down beside her, and stayed there. No drama. No lines for the camera. Just quiet support. Two women who had both been betrayed, who both knew what it meant to break down in silence. That simple act hit fans hard. Because sometimes, you don't need to say anything. You just need someone to sit with you. Melody's presence reminded everyone that Kimmy wasn't alone, even if she had felt like it for a long time. Behind the scenes, things got tense. Executives were getting non-stop calls. Lawyers, publicists, even Oprah's reps were being looped in. This wasn't just a dramatic moment anymore, this was a PR crisis. A cancer survivor being gaslit and emotionally betrayed on camera? It was a moral landmine. Sponsors started asking questions. Some were even threatening to pull out. Production didn't stop, but it slowed down. Maurice was quietly told to take a break from filming. Not suspended. Not fired. Just benched. Some cast members were asked to stay home until things cooled off. Behind closed doors, producers started planning new storylines, and maybe even a spin-off focused on Kimmy and the women and fans. They were on fire. Twitter threads exploded. Reddit pages broke it down piece by piece. YouTube reactions were filled with emotion. But this wasn't just normal tea or gossip. This time, it hit deep. People related to Kimmy. Viewers who had been strong for too long, who had taken care of everyone while falling apart inside, saw themselves in her. Then Kimmy posted a photo. No wig. No makeup. Just her, bald, raw, and calm. The caption read, "Peace is expensive but worth it." That's all. No hashtags. No tags. Just truth. That post said more than any interview ever could. Meanwhile, Maurice said nothing. No tweets. No apologies. No Instagram Live. Just silence. And that silence made things worse. People waited for him to speak up. To take responsibility. But he didn't. And when the leaked messages hit the blogs, the internet exploded again. They weren't shocking because of what was said, they were shocking because of the context. "I still think about you. You always made me feel understood." Sent while Kimmy was going through chemo. While she was losing weight. Losing hair. Fighting for her life. That was the betrayal. Not physical cheating, but emotional abandonment. One tweet summed it up perfectly: "You emotionally cheated on a cancer survivor. That's not just wrong, it's disgusting." The phrase emotional infidelity started trending. And fans weren't forgiving. They didn't want Maurice's side. They didn't care about his image. They wanted him to be held accountable. To face the consequences. But he kept quiet. The pressure was too loud to ignore now. Executives started holding emergency meetings. Advertisers were demanding answers. Some wanted Maurice off the show. Others wanted clear action taken. Not just because of what happened, but because of what it represented. In the middle of all this, people started asking for something new. Something better. A storyline that wasn't about cheating husbands or toxic marriages. But about survival. About rebuilding. About women like Kimmy, who have given everything and finally chose themselves. Whispers of a spin-off began to grow louder. One focused on Kimmy, maybe even Melody. Not about drama, but about healing. Fans said they were tired of the same cycles. They wanted to see women thrive, not suffer for ratings. Kimmy never confirmed anything. She didn't need to. Her silence, her grace, and her strength spoke volumes. She began sharing more of her life, moments with her son, glimpses of her healing, simple joys like walks, sunrises, and reading. And in the comments, thousands of fans flooded in with support. Survivors. Mothers. Wives. Women who had been through the same and came out stronger. As for Maurice, he slowly faded into the background. No major moves. No big statements. Just distance. And maybe that's for the best. Because sometimes, when you break someone that deeply, there's no quick fix. No PR plan can undo that kind of pain. The rest of the cast? They tried to move carefully. Some chose to stay neutral. Others quietly stood by Kimmy. But the show had changed forever. The audience had changed. This wasn't about entertainment anymore. It was about truth. About emotional labor. About how women are expected to stay strong no matter what, but Kimmy finally said no. She didn't yell. She didn't drag Maurice on social media. She slapped him once. Just once. And in that moment, everything broke, but maybe that's exactly what needed to happen. Kimmy is no longer protecting anyone else's peace. She's choosing her own. And maybe that's the most powerful storyline of all.